Up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Armoury, welcome to Full Time Sports Network. Welcome to Luton Town 3, Arsenal 4 match review. Some people are giddy. I'm still annoyed if I'm honest. But there we go. How are we doing? Well, I'm going to start with you, Gumza, because I know that you haven't got long. So how are we doing, Gumza?
Yeah, I'm just happy with the 3 points, man. Massive 3 points. So yeah, we got there in the end. That's the most important thing. Do you know what I mean? It could have easily been 2 points dropped. So I'm sure we're going to get into a lot of what happened. But at the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points, isn't it? You just got to take it and move on.
I'm always happy with the 3 points. I just hate the 90 minutes before. That was just I'm going to move on to Luke. Because Luke, you're not on as often as we would like. So how did you find it last night? I'm sure, because I know you weren't enough, I'm sure you weren't happy with a certain player last night. But what did you make of the overall performance?
I thought, I think our 10 outfield players mostly did all right. I think going forward, I think we create a lot more chances than we previously had. We looked more fluid. But yeah, it was just a madness of a game. It was similar to when we used to go to Bolton under Allardyce or Stoke under Pulis with those long throws by Rory Delap. It was just, you didn't know what sort of craziness was going to happen. And I think that was maybe took our players by surprise.
I don't know why, seriously, because me and Tony have said it, Brenny said it, we all said it on the match preview. Be prepared for what will be an extremely hard game against Luton. I predicted a 3-2. People thought, I was mad. It was 4-3. I'm not that mad, I promise. Tony, I'm going to move. I'll leave my PB to last because he did join me on the watch long. Tony, what did you think of it, mate?
An absolute emotional roller coaster, but that's the game. That is the game. And you know what? It killed a lot of rival fans last night. I know it did. It hurt them so much.
You could see them deleting messages as
yeah. Oh, I'm pretty sure I saw some of the chats of Tottenham fans typing, and then Rice scored, and they don't know it's to be seen. I don't know where they are. I don't know where they're gone. So, hey, listen, we'll take it. We're gonna deep it, but I'm happy. I'm happy.
And my wonderful PB that joined me last night with Dermatron as well. Big up to Dermo. I'm sure it was painful for him being
definitely.
a Tottenham fan.
I love the
thoughts.
by the way.
It was so fun. What did you make of it, Brenny? I know that we were both kind of felt the same, both angry with the performance, complacency, and all that kind of stuff. But obviously, you reflected on it now. What do you think now?
Like you, Bobby, yeah. I mean, like all of us here, happy with the 3 points. So happy with the 3 points. But the performances are that, especially with defending. I mean, I've played as a defender in my time, centre back, and I wouldn't have been happy with that defending last night, especially at set pieces. I was not happy about it, and the reason why I say that I'm not being negative, but it's just we got Villa this weekend, and we are capable of getting a clean sheet of Villa. We all have to turn up, and yeah, but like I said, I'm happy with the 3 points, and I'm off for the rest of the day today. I've had my meeting, so I'm just going to go down to my local market and sell these for nothing for Arsenal fans. United, Chelsea, Spurs fans, all fans, £30 each, but Arsenal fans on the house. Oh dear.
Mike, can I just say as well, we've ended a 39-year-old hoodoo as well. So
that's right.
True.
Yeah, no, that is very true.
It wasn't.
They were a better side. They were a better side back in the day, Luton, compared to today.
Well, Jeez. Look,
but I'm above that. I'm good.
Good. We all knew it wasn't going to be easy. Let's be honest. The people that actually know football knew it wouldn't be an easy game. People on certain platforms were dissing Luton, saying, "Oh, it's going to be very easy." How did Liverpool get on? They drew 1-1.
This is the thing, Bobby, because I did have a look at Luton before the game, and before yesterday's game, they were number 1 in the Premier League for accurate crosses per game. Half of their goals came from set pieces anyway, and no team in the Premier League this season has gone to Kenilworth Road and scored more than 2 goals. In fact, you can even go back to the Championship last season. Only 2 teams went to Kenilworth Road and scored 3 goals, and they lost 1 and drew 1 of them. Yeah. So it's not an easy place to go to, and especially as all eyes were on that game last night, because we started 45 minutes after the other Premier League game. All eyes were on that game. They were up for it, and the crowd was up for it, and you can see it was clear as day.
100%. Let's get into the comments. Say hello to some people. Big up to Steve, the Aussie Gooner, saying, yeah, the boys. Big up to Tony. There's a lot of us. Yes, there's a lot of us today, Tony. Morning, guys. Phew, there's a lot of you. Yeah, sorry, mate. Jesus, got a whole crew in today. There's still more of us. We could get everybody on if we're possible, but yeah, this is the best we can do at the moment. Absolute scene. Big up to Big T. Are we witnessing the signs of champions? So this is what champions can do. This is what they can do. Perform badly and win. It is your turn to have a 4-3. Yes. I will put that 4-3, the Liverpool one, blame it on a specific person in our group chat who got banned for 24 hours. We all know who we're on about. I'm blaming that 4-3 on that specific person because he jinxed us. Remember, during my shift in warehousing, it was a 3-3 in added time before we went out the warehouse. Checked again, and you scored when I was... Mate, it was emotional. It was emotional. If we ain't going to win the league, then I hope you lot do. Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate it. For people that don't know, Chris supports Liverpool. We'll get into that in a little bit, mate. We'll get onto the ratings in a bit. Arteta, okay, get onto that as well. Oh, Tony's going mad on one. Right, plus Man City go to Luton at the weekend too, and City aren't great defensive, and Luton scored 3 passes, best defense in the league last night. They also who'd have City this week? They have Villa, don't they?
Villa tonight.
Yeah.
Villa tonight.
Yes. That ain't going to be easy. Big up to Temmie. Hope you're doing well. Bobby, I know football and went 5-0 to take Freya's mistakes away. 4 made it harder. Look, yeah, we'll get on to Raya. I'm sure no one's going to give him a good score today. Gumza, how long have we got with you, mate?
No, to be fair, I'm all right at the moment, so we just keep rolling with the punches, and then I got to shoot.
I just wanted to make sure that we... Right, so these are the scores. It's taking me a while to write them down, to be fair. Obviously... 4-3. Right, we're going to go into each goal as we go. So, Tony, I'll start with you and Martinelli's goal, if you can remember it.
It didn't seem like a lifetime ago now, didn't it?
It does.
It was smart from GM Jesus. Quick throw-in to Saka. Saka with quick on his feet, put the ball in, and it was just beautifully finished by Martinelli. You just couldn't say any more than that. It was just a well-worked, quick-thinking goal.
Yeah, and to be fair to Martinelli, he was struggling in the whole game. Ever since that fall that he had, he was on painkillers for the rest of that game. So big up to Martinelli. I know he did eventually come off, but he was in severe agony for that whole game. So big up to him. So Gums up. I'm going to move on to Osher. This was actually a coincidence, I promise. This was a coincidence, but funny enough, Gums gets Osher.
Yeah, I thought I'd get this one. Yeah, I remember Candace wasn't happy with me because I put Shandon Baptiste in the Brentford starting 11. And then I went on a rant about all the young Reading players that are coming through and doing really well. Gabe was one I mentioned, and then he ends up scoring against Arsenal. So I was not impressed. I messaged his mum last night as well and said he's lucky. I'm happy he got his goal, but he's happy we got the 3 points. Otherwise, yeah, our relationship's over. But yeah, really nice family. In all honesty, really, really nice family. Brought up really well. Mum is like, she's got 3 boys and she's done an amazing job. And even with how he carries himself and everything, he's like a real model professional, and Mum has a lot to do with that. From what I hear behind the scenes, she controls the purses and everything in all 3 brothers. The other brother's at Reading still. He's 17. So yeah, she doesn't play around. But yeah, no, it was again the set pieces. Tony said they are very, very good, very accurate crossing. I think it was Martinelli lost him. And then now you said he's on painkillers. Didn't realise that, but yeah, I think it looked like Martinelli just didn't stay with, and the 2 players got caught under the ball, and it's a good strong header, and Raya can't do nothing about that one. But yeah, it's just, I think it's maybe he's come at the right game where we've switched off, because I don't imagine this is going to happen again this season. I think, sometimes you need the wake up call. Yeah, I'm hoping it's this game where we still got over the line and we can say, actually, no, we need to readjust. So yeah, it's a good goal, and happy for Gabe. Even, and sorry, I don't know if that's me.
I don't know which one that is. I think it might be Brenny.
Cool. But yeah, good finish. Good finish.
We'll move on to Jesus' goal with Brenny. What did you make of Jesus' goal?
That's better. Yeah, it was a great delivery from Ben White for a start. I mean, because what I liked about that goal, I mean, that was like a typical target man's header. That was, great finish. You know what it is with Jesus, right? As brilliant as he is, it's with him. Yeah, we want him to score goals, but I think he said something, didn't he, about, well, something on the lines where he doesn't score as many or whatever. And like most strikers do, because I know Eddie does, try and, intro whatever, challenge yourself to try and score as many as you can per a season. And but with the ability that he has and what he does and what he brings to our game pitch, he's capable of scoring 20 plus. He really is. And I thought, yeah, that was a typical. That was the kind of goal that Alan Smith would have been proud of yesterday. And also, I got to give props to the cross, because I don't know what it is back this season, but with White, Tomiyasu, their crossing this season has been a lot better than it was last season. You know what I mean? And I just love that delivery. That's, I love that delivery. I love seeing that delivery, So and yeah, it was deserved, because I thought, we were back. We basically deserved to get back into it, So yeah, I was happy with that finish.
Awesome stuff. Luke, if you can remember Adebayo's go, can you remember that?
That was where Raya came out and flapped it, didn't he? That was the second goal. Yeah,
Mr. Flapper. Yeah,
he came out, flapped at it. He didn't get it. You've got every. We all know goalkeepers, when they leave their line, when they come out, they've got to win it. And he allows. How can you get out jumped if you're a goalkeeper? You can put your arms up. How do you get out jumped?
I know.
I thought when we signed him, I thought that he was better at commanding his box and better at crosses than what Ramsdale was, because that was one of Ramsdale's weaknesses was from crosses and corners. And so I was very disappointed with that. He's too error prone. This guy. How many mistakes has this guy made already?
Yeah.
Ramsdale's error prone, but this guy has made more mistakes in the short time that he's been with us than what Ramsdale's done in 2 years. He needs to be dropped for the next game.
Well, we'll get onto that on Friday. But look, we all know it's not going to happen. We all know it. It's a conversation that's worth it for us fans, but when it comes to actually talking to Arsenal, it's pointless because it's not going to happen. Ramsdale.
I have got a bit of pushback on it. Like, I get he's made a mistake on that one. Players make mistakes, and again, from my coaching side of it, I look at things differently. So, how many crosses have you faced, and that's happened once? That's not something to me to lose total control over. I know someone's going to call out the lob goal that happened earlier in the season. That's a completely different situation.
Newcastle goal comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was close to it. Yeah. He was close to it. Yeah. So, but these are just part and parcel. Again, you can rectify certain things. We're going to get onto the third goal as well. And again, it's 9 times out of 10 he saves it. I saw Edison let in a very similar one on the weekend, and there's not as much uproar as what Raya's done. And I get it. We have Ramsdale sitting there. He's done relatively well for us. I like Ramsdale. I don't mind either keeper, to be fair, but whichever one starts me, I'm not too fussed. I think both of them have little errors and both of them do things really well. But I think it's the same thing with Zinchenko on the weekend. Yes, he made a mistake, but we forget all the qualities he brings. Again, when we were talking about these goals that have gone in, no one's highlighted on the header that Martinelli is nowhere near Osho on the first goal. The second goal, Raya has to do better. He has to do better. But equally, Declan Rice is not challenged with the striker. So he's got a free leap on the ball. If Declan Rice is touch tight with him, even if he gets the contact, it's a harder header for him to win. Don't get me wrong, Raya has to save it. But at the same time, there's other players in them areas who could do more. The third goal, I'm looking at Ben White. And I'm saying, you are so far away from Ross Barkley in that goal. He's dropped a step over and he's completely sold you. Raya has to save it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Raya has to save it. But also, I think if you look at, there was a chance in the first half, Martinelli, when he went to beat his player and hit on the shot on his left foot, and the player was so tight, he cut off the back post. So Martinelli could only go front post, which then the keeper stands up straight, gets his hand to it. Ben White's left the whole goal open, which now means I have to cover a bigger distance. Hence why I think he went with his hand. I think if Ben White cuts the angle off, Raya can stand still, feet are there, and then his hand, he's looking after the front post. If you watch the goal again, keeper at that angle there just has to protect the front post because Wright should be dealing with the far post. And I feel if I'm Arteta, I'm more worried about the way they created that third goal than actually the save, because I think 9 times out of 10 the keeper saves that. Well, again, you as keeper coach, you're just saying to him, sometimes use your feet. David De Gea made a career out of using his feet when people are shooting at his legs, and we see so many goalkeepers let them in because they try and save it with their hands where they should use their feet. And this is not me saying Raya's not at fault for 2 of the goals. He has to save both. But I'm not going to be too reactionary and say he needs to come out of the goal, because we did this with Zinchenko last week. He was at fault for the last goal. However, I do think I felt a bit unfortunate for him, because I think Rice has won the ball. He could have dealt with it and gone foot through. He's kind of taken a touch. It's bounced to Zinchenko. He has no idea what's around him. He's taken a touch and gets caught. We all then look at Zinchenko. But I guarantee if it was flipped and Zinchenko passed the ball to Rice, we would have blamed Zinchenko for it, because we have this narrative. We want to blame certain players for certain goals. And we didn't start Zinchenko and we still conceded 3 yesterday. So sometimes I think we need to just say, yeah, it's his fault. We mark him down today, but then move on to the next game, because we can't keep chopping a player if he has a bad performance, because Jesus misses chances non-stop. But he's still my number 1 striker to lead this team at the moment, because we haven't got anybody better. So sometimes we have to just let them play through these things because players will make mistakes, and it's hard as a keeper because the mistake they make can lead to a goal. Ramsdale played one game against Brentford, and if it weren't for Rice, the conversation is different because Rice bailed him out. Do you know what I mean? And he cleared the ball off the line. So we, as a fan base, I think we need to relax because I'm not hearing any City fans talk about Ederson's goal he conceded against Son. And this is what's probably breeding a lot of these
and you
issues.
won't-
Arteta hasn't helped.
Yeah.
Arteta hasn't helped by bringing in this number one keeper problem.
Yeah.
But we are the ones that are fueling it because we keep going on and going on and going on. And as I said, if you watch Son's goal, he's gone straight through Ederson. And you don't hear nothing about it. But we're just self-destructive at the moment because we're just trying to we all have our favourite players. And it's like we're trying to make, do you know what I mean? Trying to create narratives almost. And I'm not saying you guys here, I think it's just in general. It's because we want to see our players play. So again, we've got the Trossard Havertz thing. If I'm Team Trossard, I'm going to look for negatives in Havertz's game rather than actually saying, do you know what, we're in a good position. We've got a bit of depth at the moment, which we've struggled with for a long, long time. So yeah, he has to do better. His player rating, he will get a low rating, but I feel it's one of them which is not as concerning for me at this moment, in all honesty. Sorry, I just went on a tangent, but yeah, I know Ray's going to get a lot of stick out there.
You covered the Barkley goal, so I'll take the Havertz goal then.
Yeah, you do. But I think it's one of those. I do think we need to talk on it. Tony, I want to hear your thoughts on the Barkley goal.
I hear you.
I do think Rice has to look at it. I don't think we've just looked at Raya. We haven't addressed the other issues. Again, White for me on that foot third was all over the place.
Tony, you go on to the Havertz goal, please, because Gumza's literally just done the Barkley goal, so it's fine.
No, and he makes some fair points there. But yeah, on Havertz, I think we're starting to see where Havertz is suited to in the team. And I've noticed the last few weeks, it's when Jesus is playing. Because he gets himself into those positions where Jesus has left. And he's literally, they've been tap-ins. They have been tap-ins ultimately. And you want from him. I thought he played brilliantly last night, to be honest. I thought he was all over the place. I thought he was really, really good. And he took that goal, really, really well. Got us back in the, he brought it to 3-3. And then it was game on again. So just a quick reply. And yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Havertz at the moment. I don't know why people were still rubbish him, because the last 4 or 5 games he has improved. And again, it's since Jesus has been in the side, and I'm starting to see why Arteta's brought him in.
Yeah, I can see. Right, I'm going to move on to Gonzalez has done 2, so I'm going to move on to Brenny for the Rice baby goal.
I'm just looking at it again, funny enough, from all the goals. And yeah, it's just it was a great delivery from Odegaard. That was the best thing he did that night was set up the winning goal. But you know what? It was I looked at the extended highlights again last night, and from what I saw, Declan Rice didn't have the best game, but he pops up with a winner. But you see, with Declan Rice, he pops up with big moments as well. We know what he's been doing. This season, and he has been consistent. I mean, there's a couple of games at times he's been below par, but he's like a 7, 8, 9 player. If you're going to rate him, but it would have been. It's no surprise that it was him that came up for those moments, because he's just got this energy, this drive, and even when he's not at his best, he still wants to drive the team on, And what we were saying about Odegaard, when I looked at the extended highlights again, Odegaard, the midfield didn't have a bad game, but we've seen him perform at a higher level than they did yesterday. Because I thought out of the three midfielders, Kai Havertz was the one who impressed me. But it was great delivery in the box, and they're not the type of goals that you'd normally see from this Arsenal side, especially at a winning goal like that. But it was great finish, and set scenes, didn't it? Really.
Did you see his interview? He said when we have crosses coming in and things like corners or whatever, he's honest and he says, look, usually I'll be the player that stands at the edge of the box. But at these moments, and he did it against Man United as well, and he gets himself like, this is the last throw of the dice. I'm going to throw myself in there and I'm going to get something on it. And he's done it twice now. And you look at Rice and you look at Rodri, and that's what Rodri does with Man City.
Yeah.
If you know, you know, from set pieces, you know, he's usually the edge of the box. But when it comes to dying moments of the game, they're drawing or losing, whatever, he's getting himself in there. So we found our answer to what Man City have got in Rodri. So and he's just, I tell you what, I think he underpaid for him. I really do. I'm sorry, West Ham. I think we're over like another 195 million.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, let's get on to the stats, guys. I've got some questions to ask some guys in a minute as well. I've just been doing some research whilst you guys were talking. Right, so the actual match stats for possession was 33% for Luton, 67% for Arsenal, 6 shots for Luton, 23 for the Arsenal, 4 on target for Luton, 9 for Arsenal, 3 corners for Luton, 8 for the Arsenal. Passing accuracy was perfect, again, 85%. Luton, they've obviously got to improve that. XG, yes, it was only 0.51 XG for Luton, 2.26 for the Arsenal. Right, the lineups. Each one of you tell me how you thought the lineup. So I'm going to start with you, Luke, 'cause you're at the bottom. What did you make of the lineup when you saw it?
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. I wanted, obviously, I think in my lineup, I had Tomiyasu, but that was only on the premise that he was good to go. Obviously, we've since found out he's going to be out for a little while now, unfortunately. So Ben White coming in, I was quite happy with this.
No, fair enough. Brenny, what about you, mate?
I was happy with it too. I said in the preview show, if Kirill starts ahead of Zinchenko, I have no problems with that whatsoever. I've been happy with Kirill's contribution in recent weeks, and yeah, I thought that's good enough. It's a side that was good. It's good enough to beat Luton, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was happy with the lineup.
No, brilliant stuff. What about you, Gumza?
Zinchenko was the big miss for me. I was very similar with Luke with Ben White and Tomiyasu. So I think I put Ben White in my predicted lineup just because I thought Tomiyasu could then just take a bit of time to recover. But obviously not knowing that it's actually worse than we first thought. I was happy Havertz came back in, nothing against Trossard. But I think because Trossard played 90 on the weekend, it makes sense to start Havertz in this one. But yeah, it was just a Zinchenko thing for me. He wouldn't have come out my starting 11 unless it was a knock or something like that. But yeah, for me, Zinchenko would have started.
Okay, what about you, Sam?
Still good enough, to win the
mate.
game. Yeah, so still a very strong enough team to win that game.
Yeah, fair enough. Tone?
Yeah, I mean, I was happy with it. I was happy to see Kivio in. I'm pretty sure I put in my. I can't remember which. I changed it several times, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
It was the whole the Kivio thing. It was the whole set piece thing, all coming in from the wide areas. And Zinchenko did concern me there. So Kivio coming in, I was quite happy with.
Yeah. Right. Before I move on to ratings and stuff, I've got a question. And I'll get into the comments, guys, I promise. It's a question that's been posed, and I've done some quick research, so I've looked into my database that I have. Right, so there's 4 goalkeepers, right? Now, who do you think has prevented the most out of these 4 goalkeepers? I'm going to go to each person. I want to see what each person thinks. So the goalkeepers are Ederson, Raya, Ramsdale, and Nana. Who do you think has prevented the most goals in the Premier League this season out of those 4 goalkeepers? So, Luke?
Even despite his mistakes, it might be Onana because of the amount of shots he's faced.
Okay. Brenny?
Yeah, I think it's an honor too.
Okay. Gumza?
Ten Hag said Onana's second in the Prem, and I don't know who he said was first. I'm going to go Raya just to be, because I don't think Ramsdale hasn't played enough. And yeah, I'm going to go there.
Tone?
For you to ask that question and put Onana in it, it's going to be Onana.
It is Onana. Who do you think has actually made the most mistakes leading to those goals out of those 4 goalkeepers? Now, that's Ederson, Raya, Ramsdale
Onana.
and Onana.
Yeah.
It can't be the same one because obviously that means Onana's actually saved the most, so he's not the one that makes the most mistakes. So
Probably go Raya then.
All right.
Okay, so Gums, I reckon it's Raya.
All right.
So which one do you reckon, Luke?
Yeah. So yeah, Raya.
Okay, Brenny,
Edison.
Tony,
I'm going to say Edison.
Edison.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ramsdale's the second.
I do have a. In fairness,
What were you
I
saying,
do have a. I don't watch City. I don't watch City.
You know full well I don't.
As you guys know, so.
I can't stand watching.
So,
but I've just quickly
watched
dipped
them
into my
for Raya.
database, and that is Edison has conceded over 3 goals, like mistake wise. Raya is on 0.87. Ramsdale's on 1.8 something. So Ramsdale makes more mistakes that actually lead to goals in terms of stats. I get everyone doesn't like that. They use their eyes, and that's absolutely fine. But this is what all the managers, coaching staff use are the stats. It's what's the most important thing to them. It's not necessarily their eyes. Right. Sorry, I had to get into that because it was an interesting thing that Gumser was saying. Because obviously Gums is I work in the football field as well. It is something that people just need to not change their opinions, but just understand a little bit more detail where, like, coaching.
I do get it. I was talking to someone yesterday after the game, and their perception is keepers are keepers. They're there to stop the ball going in the net. And I totally understand that philosophy, and they're saying about defenders and the rest of it. But football has evolved. And actually, what you might find with Raya, percentage-wise, he might actually do more with his feet than he does with his hands, if that makes sense. So he probably gets a lot more action playing football than he actually has to make saves. So if we do what we have to do defensively, he may face 5 shots on target, say. But he's probably touched the ball 35, 40 times, which means his feet are so much more important than actually what he's doing saving the ball. On the flip side, Onana at the moment, I think it's something like 70 shots he's faced in the last 3 games, which means his hands are going to be crazy busy. So again, they may need a shot stopper who's going to stop the ball going in the net rather than worrying about what his kicking is like, because they're facing so many chances. Arsenal defensively are quite strong. Yeah.
And you got to think about the boys do it before when they've gloves. It's going to get a bit slippery at times, isn't it? So,
but so I do feel we need to look at football is changing, same as the defense, isn't it? But I remember for years we've always said we need centre backs who are just going to head the ball, kick the ball out, blah blah. But now we've got it sussed. Actually, we need these ball playing footballers. As Ben White says, Arteta wants him to play like a number 10 as DM, a right back, a right winger. He has to do all these roles from right back. So football is evolving. Yes, sometimes it's frustrating when we're trying to play football and we concede a goal, but we control 95% of matches. Do you know what I mean? And yes, that one moment it goes wrong, it is frustrating as hell, and I do get it. But on a whole,
I still think that Gums. Sorry, Gums. But what are they doing with these goalkeepers in recent years? Because why can't they do the basics that well? Because to me, I've said this for years. The modern goalkeeper, they don't seem to be able to catch the ball. They want to punch. It's
frustrating.
I'm with you on that.
What they use.
But I think even the mold of Ray, I don't think Raya makes it to the Prem 15, 20 years ago. Just physicality, as much as he's you've got some players who might be the same height as him, but just look more commanding. Even with Ramsdale's penalty save, and I looked at him in the penalty shootout once, and I thought he just looks tiny. Even though he probably is the same height as other keepers, he just doesn't look as commanding as some. And I don't think that those guys probably even make it to the Prem 15 years ago because, and I get it, fundamentally, like you're saying, just coming out and catching the ball, but these like rather punch, or do you know what I mean? But again, it's probably down to percentages. They probably look at, if I try and catch it, I've got a 60% chance. If I punch it, I've got a 90% chance. So actually, I'm going to go with the punch. And they probably get trained that way, that the punch is more effective. But what we're looking at is you've punched it, the second ball's come back in and we've conceded. Whereas if you were caught that, there's no second ball to be contested. Do you know what I mean? And it's, again, it depends what you're looking at, isn't it? And this is the problem with stats. Again, sometimes I do prefer the eye test. Actually, if you just caught that, you don't have to worry about pushing it into no man's land, or you're right back reacting faster than the striker because you've got the ball in your hand. We've got possession. It's less risk, but what they'll probably look at is for every time someone's tried to catch it, they may have a 40% chance they drop it, and actually that's too much risks. And yeah, I'm with you on that. I am with you on that. I do think the fundamentals do need to be better. And again, I think it probably will go back full circle soon. Someone will take a chance of bringing a no nonsense old school keeper, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, this is the way forward. Everyone needs to do it now because we're conceding less goals." And football is just cycles, isn't it? So I'm pretty sure we'll get back to that in a 4-4-2 very soon, I reckon.
Yeah.
I mean, my take on it as well with keepers is, yeah, I'm with Luke, because at the end of the day, yeah, we know what the modern day goalkeeper, sweeper keepers, playing the ball out, from the back, using more feet. But at the end of the day, your job as a goalkeeper is basically to keep the ball out of the net, and you need to be better with your hands than you are your feet. And I'm sorry, I'm just old school. That's just me. I do get it, Gunza.
Do you remember back, Brenny, though, when we had Leno and we couldn't build? We could not
No, we
build
couldn't.
anything.
No,
'Cause every time the ball went to him, it went out for a throw in, or we kicked it back to them. And as a
and I
ball playing team, we couldn't keep possession. And if you think, and I do think as fans, we're forgetting what it was like those times, because we were bad. I remember Brentford, Brighton, them teams used to pepper us because we couldn't keep possession. Those last years of Aubameyang was difficult to watch. So I understand it for the one mistake here and there we make, or the goals we concede. But when you look on a whole of how we control matches at the moment, I don't think there's a team that actually come and dominate us. Like City and us was a very close game.
That's fine. Yeah, and I get you. I understand, but that's fine. But I just feel it's still, it's like there's still something lacking with a lot of keepers in terms of everything else with other attributes. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? But but I have no problems with us playing out from the back. Oh God, no. But it's just, because I feel like with your top keepers that we had back in the day, Seaman and Schmeichel for me are two of the greatest ever to have graced not just Premier League top flight, because they played in the first division as well. But I think keepers like them would adapt to how we play. That's just how good they were. I think they would adapt as well, because they could do everything else. If you know what I mean, it's like if you combine the old school keeper to the modern day goalkeeper, you combine the two, you got a super keeper there.
100%.
I think the problem is, I think Neuer set the standard there, didn't he? Because he's a sweeper keeper and he was a shot stopper as well, a very good one at that.
Yeah.
So ever since Neuer's come along, everyone's looked at him as an example now, and that's just where we are now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's top quality.
Right, guys, we've got to move on to the comments before we do the ratings. Have you guys on the panel hit the likes? Please do hit the likes on both channels. That would be really helpful for us. And subscribe to both channels as well, the Armoury TV and Full-Time Sports Network. Big up to Colm. Hope you're feeling better, mate, first. Morning panel. Firstly, sod off the shirt. It's Christmas work, mate. I have no choice. And secondly, these are the games that could decide the title challenge. Away to Luton is a tough fixture, 100%. Just ask Liverpool. Listening to all the comments on podcast, how good Luton were, it's deflecting away from our performance. Let's see what City do to them. You can't really compare the two different things, because me and Brenny both said it last night. We didn't look up for it. Complacency was clearly there. We managed to win. That is the important thing. We didn't do that against RC Lons. We turned up like that. We did last night, and we lost because Lons were up for it. Luton were up for it as well, but we just did enough last night to win. Tommy injured again, another party there, I think. No, not really. It's Tommy was just a doubt, and then they went through the test just before the game, which I think happens sometime in the day before, and he failed the test, and it's worse than we first expected. So yeah, unfortunately Tommy will be out for a little while, but it's nothing like Partey's situation is a whole different thing. 60 million wasted on Havertz and he scores again. Sure, there's a chant for that. There is. It's been sung many times. and I do love the song personally. I think we might have lost Gums now. Raya flapped in insults of birthday flap and get somewhere. Raya was waving to his family. Raya is strange one. He's good for Brentford, and then he's yeah, exactly, Chris. You know, I've seen him at Blackburn. I've seen him at Brentford. He is a good goalkeeper. I don't know what the heck's happening at Arsenal, but he's better than this. I know that. Different styles. It could be a different style because you definitely didn't play that type of football at Blackburn. I don't think you can really compare our football to Brentford's either. Thomas Frank does go attacking.
Could be feeling the pressure of playing for Arsenal, Bobby.
It could be. It could be. You know, we've had certain goalkeepers that are. Richard Wright was one of the big ones for me.
Yeah, Richard Wright, another one.
He was an absolute nightmare. It's got nothing to do with being Ipswich Town again.
Yeah.
Once again, he was actually a good goalkeeper. I liked him, but
he was good at Ipswich. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, it was that Charlton game, isn't it? Jeez.
Yeah, jeez. Just honestly, I don't know what happens. As soon as they come through the old door, they just turn into, I don't know, Mr. Blobby or something. Is Havertz growing into this role? Are we witnessing one of the turnaround of? I can say that. My name's Bobby. I'm allowed to say Mr. Blobby. Is Havertz growing into his role? Are we witnessing one of the turnarounds of the decade? I don't think so, because I knew there was a player there. I think we're just boosting his confidence. Once you get the confidence into Kai, look, he's not the most excitable person. You're not going to see loads of passion from him. But I said it to you last night, didn't I, Brent? Once he scored that goal, you saw the passion in his face. He was like, "Yes, I'm up for this." I haven't seen that guy for a long time.
But it's like I said, it's since Jesus has come back into the team, you've seen a better Havertz.
Yeah.
And I really think that's his role. Like, to fill the spaces that Jesus leaves in the middle, and we're seeing it.
I think this is linked with the striker that we're trying to get next year. I think this is what the Kai is linked. It's not for the Jesus. I think it's for the striker that's coming in next. Okay. I think it looks like it's more summer now than it is January. But yeah, I think that's what it's to do with it. And to be honest, Kai is doing so well. He was, and I think Brady said it earlier, was the best midfielder for us last night. He was the best out of all those three. He was the better one. Comes up, please go and back and look properly. Newcastle, Lons, Spurs, and Luton. That's 5. Ramsdale didn't make mistakes. They're mistakes that. Because I know Tony's asked who makes these stats. These are all done by football statisticians. It's all put on this database. We all look at it, including the Premier League clubs. It's all stats that a lot of the clubs use, and they're not really necessarily put down to him. So, like what Gomza was saying, that maybe the second goal, the Barkley goal, was more to do with Ben White. So maybe Ben White gets that mistake, not Raya, because obviously Raya was set up ready for something else to happen. But because it's a lot of domino effects, and that's where I personally don't like Ray. Everyone knows this. I don't like Ray in goal. He makes me nervous. Ramsdale, not that nervous, but he's still nervous. I just want a better goalkeeper, but I want a goalkeeper that saves a bloody shot. That's what I want. I don't care about his feet. I don't care if he can do strictly on ice or whatever it's called nowadays. But you know, I just want my goalkeeper to save a shot. It's and collect a ball from a corner. It's very simple. I'm a right back. That's what I want from my goalkeeper. I am old school. I don't.
It's like what Brenny said for that first headed goal they had. That if it was Brenny, if you're coming out, well, it might have been Luke, but if you're coming out for a corner, you're expected to get the ball. It's as simple as that as a goalkeeper. That's what you expect from your goalkeeper. If you're going to commit to coming out, you make sure you get that ball. And he did it. And the second goal. Third goal, I do feel like he should have done better with it. He should have at least got a hand to it. But I understand what Gumza was saying about the build up to the play. It makes sense. But at the same time, I still expect the keeper to do a bit better there.
Yeah, Gumza, you're Arteta PR. Ramsdale was dropped because of mistakes. Sorry, Gumza, what a load of rubbish. Ramsdale was not dropped because of mistakes. I don't know. Did he actually say that? Did Gumza say that? Because Ramsdale was not dropped because of mistakes. Ramsdale was dropped because he doesn't play Arteta's style of football. Ramsdale will not be at our club next summer. Next season he won't be. Simple as that. It's got nothing to do with favourites. It's about my club. I want to win things 100%. I have my favourites, but if he has a shocking game, I'm going to say he has a shocking game. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, like I'll call him out. I'll call him out. I'll call the manager out. Don't care who you are.
I had someone in the chat last night. I've had someone message me about it. I don't care if I love them, if I want to marry them. If they've had a bad performance on that pitch, they're getting a bad rating. This is my club. I don't care if I like them or not. It's as simple as that. Race baby, says King. Big up to King.
Morning, King.
Let's be honest. If we beat Liverpool, City, Villa 4-3, all the players get 10s. So shows. No one's getting a 10 from me today. I don't care if we won 4-3, and I don't care if we beat Man City 4-3. If the performance is rubbish, they're getting a bad performance rating. It's as simple as that. I don't care that we won 4-3. The difference between when I was going in the 80s and 90s and I was coming out and we had a bad performance, but we won, is Arsenal weren't spending loads of money back then. We weren't a big financial club. We are now. I expect bigger things now. So I don't expect performances like that. That's the difference. That's the difference between me now, because we're spending a fortune. You know, 100%. We weren't spending a fortune back then. We were spending a couple of 100,000 on a right back or a left back or a centre back. It weren't the big money. Even when we bought Bergkamp, it still wasn't big time at the time because it was like one or two signings here and there. Now,
well, that's the thing. George Graham bought. He spent money on the cheap on second division players. Steve Boldley Dixon were second division players.
Yeah,
for example.
Exactly. Yeah, I would have no issues if we were going out and spending money on players, helping them grow in, and our performance was bad. I wouldn't be that bothered. But we're spending £200 million in a summer window. I expect world-class performances. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Sorry, but that's just the way I am. King saying, Buzzy for the win, but another calf injury on Tommy. We need reinforcement in January. We will be signing someone in January. As far as I've known, it's 2 players at the moment. With Zinni injury record and Luton physical team, I understand the rotation. This is still going to bug me, and I'm sorry I'm going to keep rabbiting on about this, but this is why we need to give some of the youth a little bit of a chance, because then we don't need to go out and spend the money. It's as simple as that. You give Raw Waters a chance. You give Lino Sousa, who I guarantee is ready for the club now. Just give him a chance, because then if Zinchenko does get injured, we've got a left back ready. Because I guarantee I think I said it to you the other day, Brenny, if White and Tomiyasu are both injured, how many people are honestly going to be happy picking Cedric? Yeah, I'm not. I want Raw Waters on the bench last night.
And Arteta will pick him.
Arteta will pick him. I want Waters. Luke, will you want Waters or Cedric at right back?
Waters. I mean, I said I even put Waters, if you remember, Bobby, in some of the lineups towards the end of the season because
you did.
We either play holding and we can't play with the high line. And I said we put Waters in, and people were saying to me, "We can't put Waters in. He hasn't played." I said, "Well, that's not my fault, is it? He should have blooded him in before that.
Exactly.
He had the chance last week to do it. He needs to start doing it. Otherwise, he's going to be putting Cedric in. I don't want to see that. I'd rather see Waters. If he makes mistakes, he makes mistakes. He'll learn from them.
Giving him
and for the inside forwards, inverted wingers, if Saka was out for 3 weeks or month, there's only one player that I would put in his place who could play exactly the same way as Saka, and we all know who that is. Yeah. But I don't think he'll get his chance if that was to happen. No. Obviously, we don't want Saka. Touchwood. We don't want him injured, but Jose Dubry will come in and do a job.
Yeah. This is how you meant to do it.
Because with Tomiyasu out now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just going to say, the next man in, by the way, now is Cedric.
Next week.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And look at it years ago. I mean, I know when we go back to the past, I like to do that, because it just goes to show you what managers did in the past. And look at when I think we had was it Ray Parlour was on the right, Petit Vieira, and it's like, okay, if one of them is out, suspended or injured, who'd you bring in? Oh, lo and behold, what does Arsene Wenger do? He brings, even though he made his debut the season before in our double winning season, Stephen Hughes, who did a fantastic job for us and ended up being the double winner.
He did, yeah.
It's examples like that and bring him in. And Stephen Hughes didn't look out of place. You know, it was kind of like how I see Stephen Hughes, the players that he was surrounded by back then was kind of like Cesc Fabregas. Even though Cesc Fabregas was a better player technically, Stephen Hughes went on to do bigger and better things.
Yeah,
That's what we want to see.
yeah,
That's what we want to see.
This is everyone just says, "Oh, Tommy's out. Let's go and buy a replacement." Like seriously, we've got many talent in our hell end which we can use and careful with the word exploit, but use them. That's what they're there for. But we are going to literally be going out and going, oh, we need another versatile. No, we don't. We've got one. We've got one in Raw Waters who can play right back, centre back. Lino Sousa, who can do the inverted left back role that Arteta so loves. He can already do it. He doesn't even need to change.
Yeah, Rosiak's another one.
I'll be honest, Rosiak is probably another season away. But Rosiak is the next stage.
He's getting there. It's like I'm saying to Bobby. So I say, Bobby, silver one. Did you see Rosiak last week against Lons or any highlights? I mean, even though we lost the game, mate, I thought Rosiak played really well.
Yeah, and I think really well. Yeah, and like you say, this is the thing that confuses me because Bobby, I remember you mentioning that Mikel Arteta has got the youth manager and everyone else below him to try and play the certain way that he does. Yeah. So if he's doing that, surely he'd be looking at a few players going, okay, I'm going to give him a go this week. I won't start him, but I'll probably bring him on for like the last 10 minutes, see what he does.
100%.
So it's very confusing to me why he hasn't done it yet. Now I'm expecting next week against PSV, because we're both qualified and we've topped the group and they finished second. Because I think PSV will probably do the same thing. I think we should give one or two of these players a chance. Get the fringe players on, not a problem. Start a couple of the first teamers, not a problem. But at least get one or two of the youngsters on, get a few more on the bench, let them have a few minutes. I can't see why we can't do that. Will he do it? I don't know. He has some trust issues there. I don't know what it is. But I agree with all of you. We need to, and that's always been the Arsenal way. It always has been. I mean, it was Emery that gave Saka the chance, and now 200 games later, look at him. Yeah, he's only 21.
Yeah.
So it's concerning because if he doesn't start playing any of his players, they're going to look at him and go, well, he's not going to give me a chance. I'll go somewhere else. And then a couple of mega stars somewhere else. And that's what really, really worries me. I'm a bit nervous about that, I must admit.
Well, Cozy Dewberry is the closest one out the door at the moment because he hasn't signed a new deal, hasn't agreed terms. You've got to give him some hope. Give him some hope. Otherwise, he will go. Nwaneri, I told you how close he was to leaving. We've got Chibo Obi, Martin. He is secured now for a good couple of years, so that's good. But Cozier is the one that scares me because I think, and I know people are going to be upset by this, but I think he's going to be better than Saka. I just think he will be. I think he's got more to his game. Saka's got a lot to his game, but I think Cozier has got a little bit extra.
Why would that upset people? That shouldn't upset people.
It shouldn't.
Because a lot of people don't like saying that.
Get him in now.
Yeah. People are protective over certain players, and I get it. But at the end of the day, I want what's best for Arsenal Football Club, not a specific person. There we go. It's Arsenal Football Club, not Saka FC or Arteta FC. It's Arsenal Football Club. So we were talking about the XG for the goal score. Yeah, when I could do the end of the season review, which I did last season, I did go into the stats very deeply. What's he saying? XG what?
Out.
Okay, it makes me angry, Steve. Makes me angry.
Mate, I get it. I can't stand it. It does my head in, but unfortunately,
you either score or you don't. Simple. You don't know what's going to happen.
Well, the fact there is XG for goalkeepers, there's even Luke will love this. Luke will absolutely love this. There's an XG for assists as well. There's expected assists.
No, it's like the stat Tony started off the show.
No, listen, Luke, Bobby, Bobby, we do fantasy football in the NFL, and it's all these projected points. I mean, shut up! You don't know what's going to happen.
No.
Oh.
It's not a blind people. I promise. They're very good people. They're actually people that have a lot to do with FPL, which is the Premier, which is why I can't actually play it because I know them. Right, is the
Yeah.
Premier League just so open defensively this season that we've seen so? I don't know. There's been quite a lot of goal fest, hasn't there? That last weekend has been mental. Yeah, it's quite interesting to be fair. Just seeing the stats with Arteta. That's the thing. Onana isn't using his passing skill. We see long ball after long ball. Why is he here? Big T. Unfortunately, that is definitely something you should ask your United fans. Obviously, a lot of Arsenal fans are just enjoying the moment. Banana Man is his main name, and yeah. But yeah, sorry, Big T.
Big T, would you be comfortable passing to Maguire, playing out from the back?
That's true. That's true, to be fair. How many matches has Ramsdale played? So proves those stats wrong. We will get into those at the end of the season, I promise. I love Alisson, but my God, I hate him when he's playing from the back. Ain't good for my heart. Yeah. See, Alisson, one of the best goalkeepers in our league, arguably. I think he's one of the best ones. He's one I like watching. But he is extremely dodgy with his feet, even though that's how they play. We had... back in the days like Robinson, Shea Given, etc. Let's not overreact as well. We're not overreacting though, so everyone just has their opinion. Everyone's opinion's different. It's fine. Gums, I'm looking at the ball going in on net. What are you looking at? All teams seems to be conceding in his defence the dying art. Yeah, I think so. It's all about attack, isn't it? I think if you look at the most successful teams past 10 to 15 years, Vidal, Neuer, Ederson, Alisson, etc., all sweeper keepers. It's working. Yeah, we're going back to like having a sweeper. Back in the 90s, a lot of defenses, especially the big defenses and the best defenses, all had a sweeper. Now it's a sweeper keeper. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting now. Should emphasize beat on attack. You can concede 3 if you score 4, as an example. It's not good for blood pressure. That's all I'm saying. It's not good for the blood pressure. Someone just rejoined us. Tony, could you have a look, see who that was? Sorry. Makes me wonder if Bielsa was the same. Yeah, Bielsa loved that type of football, didn't he? Managers know why they are going with ball-playing goalkeeper and technically solid fullbacks. Premier League is basically becoming a prime Amir Khan at the moment, all for defence, but dangerous attack. A bit of a boxing analogy. Arteta sold Martinez, and look at the mistake to get Ramsdale, and Raya is nowhere near Martinez in Tony. Martinez is a different situation. Different. You can't. I don't think you can compare it, to be honest. That was Leno and Martinez at the time. Leno clearly cannot play our football. Good goalkeeper though. Good goalkeeper. I think the difference between football and pressure is 10 times worse at Arsenal. Raya will come good. You can still have how important his distribution is. Just need mentality to go up. That's why I love Alisson. He saves shots. Exactly. Arteta's killed Ramsdale. Confidence a goalkeeper keeps making mistakes and he can still get in. Let's be real. Is Bobby going to turn into league gunner? Hope not. No. I'm just honest. I support Arsenal Football Club. That's all I want. I don't support a player. I don't support a manager. I support Arsenal Football Club. I want the best for football. Arsenal Football Club. I'm coming back on. Oh,
likewise.
Sorry. I just realised who that was. Hello, Gobza. Right. Tommy has been great when he's been playing, especially when scapegoated in past. He's massively improved.
It's been brilliant.
Bobby Arteta would soon play you and me than any one of our youth. I guarantee you wouldn't want to play me. I guarantee you that. Why would any youth player believe Arteta? He's a proven liar. Ray will win the assist easily. He assists the opposition. XG biggest load of nonsense ever shut up. Seriously, like it, you're expected to go in every shift of work. Realistically, you can't expect that. You could be off ill at some point. I get it, but it's stats that we all use, and I have to talk about it.
I don't go to work. I don't go to work and have expected bets taken above my head, do I? You know what I'm saying?
Bobby, by the way, I can write a journal about. Oh, crikey. Seriously, I'm trying to have a day off from PMGL today. I am so disappointed with how the mentality is the same. Focus is in the protection, not improving and accountability. All I would say, look at the refs, not Howard Webb. Howard's trying his best. There's no end goal, unfortunately, because they're useless. Every single ref. And this not in Premier League. This is AFL, National League as well. They're all awful. Every single one of them. if you think you can do better, please apply to be a ref. Because honestly, I listened to it as well. I listened to your application. I would try and get you on the system because seriously, every single ref, including Europe, I'm going to put whole of Europe in this as well, because even the best ref that was refereeing the PSG Newcastle game, for me, best ref in the world, made an awful mistake that cost Newcastle the win. He's the best ref in the world for me, and even the best refs make the biggest mistakes. I wouldn't be comfortable breathing the same oxygen as Maguire. Pick up to Big T. Webb and Raya are related. They both flap about. Howard did improve the LMS refs by 200 million%. I do have faith in Howard Webb. I just don't have faith in the refs. It's as simple as that. Will we see refs replaced by AI? Bloody hope not. I've used AI for some stuff that we're doing at work, and I bloody hope not, because honestly, it's awful. But anyway, let's move on to the players' stat ratings now. Gumza, you have come back in time here. We're going to start with you, with Raya.
You had to go to the nice
give him a 2.
person, didn't you?
See,
You're going to give him a 2. The Gums are actually say 2.
I think so.
We'll take it. We'll take it. No, yeah, down to 2. Yeah,
That's incredible.
I think he was actually joking, to be honest, but he cut off at such a perfect time.
His Gums are back or saying, I don't know. I want these proper rating because obviously I use these ratings for other things. Oh, damn it. Okay. I does everyone agree with a 2? Just yes or no?
Does that mean I get him?
Well, I'm just going to see what everyone's opinion is, if a 2 is okay or not.
Yeah. 2.
Brenny, you okay with 2?
Yeah.
Tone?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So now you, Luke, get Ben White.
Okay. Well, he obviously, he did, as Gumza said, he played a part in that 3rd goal, but he also had an assist. So they kind of cancel each other out. So I'd have to give him, apart from that, a 5. It was an average performance.
Yeah, just so everyone's aware, because I know a lot of people get very upset. A 5 is an average score because it is halfway between 0 and 10. So a 5 is not a bad number.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone does averages differently. 5 is what me and Luke do as an average. Okay, so please don't get upset. Right, Brenny, I'll give you Kivior.
Yeah, 5 as well.
5.
You know, didn't light the place up yesterday.
No.
Didn't rise to the occasion, did he?
Yeah.
No. Tony, you get Saliba.
5 as well. You know,
Okay.
not one of his best games. Gave away a silly free kick at one point towards the end. Yeah, not. And look, we got to look at the defense widely. They've all got to take responsibility.
Yeah.
As well as the goalkeeper. So yeah,
100%.
Yeah. So Luke, that gives you Gabriel.
Yeah, collective responsibility here. You know, we do, especially defend as a team. I don't think Gabriel had a bad game. I don't think he had a particularly good one as well. So I'd have to give him a 5.
5 for Gabriel. So Brenny, you get Rice Baby.
He wasn't the best of 3 in the middle, but he counted a winning goal. It'd just be a 7 for me.
Okay, fair enough. Tony, I'm going to give you Odegaard.
Again, I agree with some of the guys. I think Havertz was our best midfielder. Probably maybe a little bit better than Rice. Came up with that assist as well. So, and it was a big. It was a clutch moment. So you're gonna have to give him a 7. It's just as good as the goal. Just as good as the goal. He probably would have got a 5 or 6, but yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, yeah. He saved himself for that at the end for me. Havertz, Luke.
Yeah, I think I was impressed Kai in the second half because I think he realised from the first half that this was a game where he wasn't going to get any protection from the ref. He recognised the situation. I don't know whether Arteta told him not to react to what's going on because they were buzzing about us and they manhandled us that first half particular. And I think in the second half he adjusted his game. I think, as the boys have said, I think he was the best out of the three. Got the goal, which made it 3-3. And I've been really impressed with Kai. I've been very critical of him, so I think it's only fair. I've got to give him his due, so I'm going to give him an 8.
Excellent stuff. Ronnie, you get Saka.
Thought it was really good last night. He was he was unlucky. He was in his ball for Ben White to provide a cross for Jesus. That was a sublime pass. You know, I do love the partnership of the two of them. He was unlucky not to get on the score sheet himself, and he just kept going and going. For me, he gets an 8. He was brilliant last night.
Wonderful stuff. Yeah. Tony, I'm going to give you Martinelli.
I was hoping you gave me a Zeus, but I'll take Martinelli. Took the goal well. He was a nuisance down that side. Why, before he picked up that little bit of a knock, which I think caused him issues, and obviously come off in the end. So I think he played very well up until that point. I would give him, just because it wasn't the whole game, it'd be 7.
Okay. Jesus, Luke.
Yeah, I thought the whole front three were very good, and even though I'm giving Jesus the same score as Saka and Havertz, he would actually be my man of the match. Got goal and assist. I'd give him an 8. I thought he was very, very good last night.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you very much, guys. Right, let's move on to the subs because they did play long enough. So we're going to move on to Trossard, Brenny.
He was full of endeavour for running, but just a 6 for me.
Okay. Tony, you get Zinni.
I was actually impressed when he come on. I have to admit. I had my concerns about him before the game, but I think Arteta brought him on around the right time. And he came up big for that last goal as well for me. He was part of that play. So look, he was only on for in the end it was about 35 minutes. So I'll give him a 7. I think it's pretty solid for what he done.
Okay, wonderful stuff. Cheers, mate. Before we go on to Arteta in a moment, just want to catch up with some comments because they are building up once again. Apparently, a Luton player has Gabriel's arm as a souvenir. We'll get onto that. Another day, I've said that since VAR introduction, it's not the technology, it's the officials. I guarantee it's the officials. They suck. If you were listening to me, you all suck. Linesmen, refs suck. It's apparently amount of bad decisions they make repeatedly. Yeah, honestly, I have to do the VAR reviews, and I've had to do them. I've done one yesterday, which took me hours. Not yesterday, Monday. What day are we on? Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. I've got to do VAR again on Friday morning. Honestly, what I see is ridiculous. What I hear is even more ridiculous. And a lot of people saying, "Oh, we need to hear the communication." Trust me, you don't. The amount of words that are inappropriate to hear is ridiculous. Players, you need to grow up and start respecting. I know you might not agree with the situation, but respect, because then we can start hearing the communication between the two. If you don't, we can't hear it because there are kids watching. It's as simple as that. Honestly, the words is disgraceful. Anyway, I would do it because I love football. I just want to be right and clear. We need a ref that also understands football and make it clear. Ask footballers, and I guarantee I've heard so many no's to this. Ex-footballers that are not doing anything, do not want to do the job. Do you know why? Because they can't cope with the pressure. It's as simple as that. If they think they can do a better job, come into it then. It's as simple as that. And it's not that I'm angry with all the fans saying, "Oh, VAR." It's not VAR's fault. It's the officials. They're not good enough because none of them really play football. I have a term that I don't want to say on stream, but there's a term that I use for what I think refs are and what they used to be when they were kids. Never football fans. Never football fans. That's for one thing, but there was definitely something else that I call them. And to be fair, I think I'm pretty accurate. But if you want to do it and you've played football, come in and do the field. It's as simple as that. Because Howard would love you because these refs know sod all about football. Most of them support League 2, League 1 games teams. Northampton, Tranmere. Some people support Newcastle. Some support Man United. Trust me, they know nothing about football. If you sit with them, I've had conversations with refs. I've had a conversation with them, and they know skiddly squat about football. The whole football world. They just know about refereeing. That is not football. That is refereeing. It's a different situation. Honestly.
So these ex-pros that are suggesting it, you go do it then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They are the ones that need to shut up, put down their mics, go and apply for it then. Because I don't know if anyone's seen it, but the Carragher and the Neville, when they went to actually go to the actual training session with the refs, they found it extremely hard. It's not that easy, but I'd rather an ex-footballer do it because at least they will understand the game better. Refs don't. They haven't got a clue. It's like having a lawyer doing a job in Aldi. They won't understand customer service. They just won't. Yep. You know what I mean? It's totally wrong area. Anyway, I don't agree with Morans cross-line abuse refs. 100% agree. And keep all the hierarchy out of it as well. Refs and anyone to do with hierarchy of FA, Premier League, don't deserve any hatred. This is decisions that are made. They're stupid decisions, but they need to learn football better because honestly, they really their football knowledge sucks. Gums are saying blah blah blah. That's the most sensible thing Gums has said. A 2 for Raya, and I have got confirmed. Raya is a 2. So thank you very much, Gumza, for confirming it. As much as I want,
it's quite funny because it's like a mic drop moment. He was defending Raya for the 3rd goal. Then he comes to him for Raya rating. And he goes, Raya 2, cuts out.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it at first. I was like, because this is not Gumza. That's not what Gumza does. Gumza is not a person. So I wanted to make sure. But fair enough. I'll put a big up to you, Gumza. As much as I want the sin bin rolled out, I fear Bruno will live in it 100%. And that is the whole point of the fear of the sin bin. Now, I'm interested. I'm going to watch the league and I'm going to get the feedback from the league that actually adopts this because I'm interested to see how the players change their attitude. I know Tony doesn't like it, but I think
it's just stupid. It's a stupid idea. I'm going to go on a Mersh rant in a minute, but no, leave it alone. You're going to encourage more fouls coming into the game. You're going to encourage more injuries. It doesn't make sense. You know, he goes, oh, that's right. I'll take 10 minutes out. Our team will sit back for 10 minutes and we'll be fine. I'll come back on. It's just stupid. It's a stupid idea. I'm not for it. I don't want to see it. It can stay in rugby. They have it in ice hockey. It can stay there. This is football.
I honestly don't think it will touch the Premier League ever.
No.
I'm interested to see the league that adopts it, just to see what happens. I'm just intrigued by it. But I know
you have it in non-league. You have it in non-league. They do that as well. Yeah, I've seen it. Not very often it happens though. But yeah, I know since step 5, step 4. I don't know about 3, 2, or 1, but yeah, it's there and it's like whatever.
Yeah. Benny Blanco defense is getting worse. He gives attackers too much space. I feel he changed style ever since Rashi skinned him. Or am I harsh?
I don't know if that's the reason, but he definitely has not been as good recent. Most of last season he was brilliant.
Yeah,
Rashford, I think, is even referring to the game at the Emirates against Man United, obviously against Man United, when Rashford did do him that first half, and then I think Tommy Acid came on and he shut him down in that second half.
I think the difference is last season we were a bit more attacking.
White has
coming forward, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
It's when he got injured, though, isn't it? It's when he got injured a few weeks ago, and Tommy Acid came in and took his chance. And and now you find it hard to leave Tomiyasu out.
Mm.
But we do want competition, though, don't we?
Gary should have had a penalty, by the way. I've heard this a lot. I've not seen the VAR review. Obviously, it's we can do it Friday morning because we're going to wait for all the games to play because they decided to spread it over 3 days just to make my life really pain arse this week.
I thought it was
I had to do the whole. I haven't seen it, so I didn't see it when I was watching the game. Brenny, I don't think you mentioned it either, Brenny.
What's that about yesterday, the penalty? When I saw it again, when Rob was watching the game,
Yeah.
I thought that's a pen, but they won't give it. They won't give it. I thought it was a penalty.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. I've not.
The thing is, the problem is, right, because of the inconsistency of it all. Some could argue that who was it? Havertz, even though he took the shot, he had the studs on the plate, and another week he could have got sent off for that. Even though it's not a foul, but we've seen it.
Yeah. I get what Big T's saying here. Ex-players have allegiances to clubs. Could they ever referee? Look, at the end of the day, all the refs are football fans. They're all football fans. Now, I'm just speaking for me, but I could do it because I don't have just because I support Arsenal doesn't mean I'm going to be easier on Arsenal than I am on the side. It's just not my mentality. So I'm sure there's players out there that are very similar to me. I guarantee that there's other people that like Dermo. I guarantee if he was a ref and he was doing a Tottenham game, I guarantee he would be very nice to Tottenham. But there are people.
I'd volunteer for Man City games because I could do with a nice holiday.
None of that. Geez, you're not making my life easy, are you? I'm banned from that club as it is. They are so angry with me. It's unbelievable. You're not helping my situation. I will contact you on how to apply it. Is for the love of the game. Bobby, I referred to match instead. If playing in the league game only once is sent off 2 players, my team weren't happy. Bobby, I don't understand customer. I know. Well, to be fair, every supermarket don't customer service at the moment, but I'm going with. Iceland are better actually with customer services. The BTEC Stewie from Family Guy, Danny Murphy saying I can get enough decisions. Smart ass, stop talking dribble with a clown Lineker and apply. Exactly, but they'd rather have these podcasts and make fortunes. Let's just actually become a ref then. But let's just be honest. If you want to help the game, put down your stupid mic, stop talking absolute dribble, and go and do the ref. Go and do it. I've had favourite referees over the years. Brenny, I don't know if you remember this guy, Uriah Rennie. I absolutely adored him. Brilliant ref. Knew exactly how to control players.
Alan Shearer's nemesis.
Well, yeah. But honestly,
I loved Ellery. I thought Ellery was great as well. David Ellery.
Yeah. See, everyone has their favourites and for different reasons. David Ellery, I can't stand, but. It's football, not bloody rugby. What the F has football turned into? Bloody. It's just an idea. I don't personally like it. I know the Premier League are not keen on it, nor the FA, but it's an international thing that has been considered. As Brady said, it has touched the non-leagues already. It has touched some other leagues all over the world as well. That they think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea personally, but I'm always open to listening to good ideas and bad ones as well. Surprised none of our goals were ruled out, says Tony. I'll volunteer for it goes. See, this is where we're going with fans. Some fans would just want to do it just to get their own back, but if you can just keep your football bias out of it, you could be a good ref. Can these ref handle more rule changes? Probably not. They can't handle their own soup. No, anything else. Honestly,
it's like I said before. It's supposed to be the best league in the world. We've got fans from all over the world. We've got players from all over the world. So why not bring in referees from all over the world? Okay. They won't have any bias. They won't have any bias.
Question. Let me know where these refs are that are good.
I said pick the best refs from all over them.
There isn't any good refs. Honestly,
there's got to be good ones somewhere.
Yeah, probably Vanuatu or whether it's called in New Zealand or Fiji or Philippines or. So I guarantee. Honestly, the what I'm hearing from the European leagues, none of the refs are handling VAR very well. They're all pathetic. They're all rubbish. Like I said, the best ref that I know personally, sucked against Newcastle and PSG, made the stupid error that cost Newcastle a game. So, and that is the best ref in the whole world for me. And everyone makes a mistake. And
let's just get that French referee from the Women's World Cup. She seems good enough.
Yeah, it was. I'll be honest. What was her name that did the Birmingham game? She came over to do the EFL because the FA were trying to switch because the one of our refs from the EPL went to do WSL. We did a swap, I suppose you want to call it. She did very well, but the hate from the fans, because it got 2 fans arrested because of the comments that they made. This is where the fans need to grow up a little bit. You know, I don't care if they're female, male, alien, dog, cat, hamster, giraffe. If they're a good ref, be a ref. Let them be a ref. Simple as that.
Maybe that should be the next project for NASA, trying to go to another universe and find a better referee.
Mate, if we find life on Mars, mate, I'd bring them in right now. I'd take anyone. Honestly, I can't stand the refs at the moment. Players can't ref. If the ball comes near them, they would fall down. there is a big course that you have to take, and honestly, it's interesting. But honestly, I think I've always said this, and I've said this for years. Ex-players would make the best refs. It's as simple as that, because they understand the game. I loved Howard Webb as a ref, not so much in VAR. What I would say, Big T, is look what he did in the MLS. MLS was, I'm trying to be polite now, rubbish with refs. Howard Webb changed the whole system, and they are now probably one of the best leagues in the whole world for VAR. He's obviously got back over here to try and improve it here, but the refs here are so arrogant that they just won't listen to any advice. They won't go back to the drawing board, or they won't learn how to actually become a better ref.
Club, isn't it?
It is, and I hate it, mate. I really do. Obviously, I'm not part of it, but I do sit on the board of it, and I can't stand listening to them, honestly. Anyway, referees should have phone a friend. No, because they'll probably phone me, so no thanks. Rebecca Welsh, she called. No, I'm not related to her. Yes, that's it. Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate that. I knew someone would know. Dogs can't referee. They would chase the ball. I swear it'd be more fun than watching the refs do via ref now. Anyway, oh come on! Another one added to Bobby dislike list. Referees added to the likes of Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Man City, and Red Bull,
and right backs,
and Silver Tunnel. I still can't even say that name. It offends me to say that name. But thank you, Chris. I'm glad you're listening to everything I hate. I'm sorry. I'm just going to have a podcast. Bobby hates this. Right. Anyway, VAR has destroyed referees. There were less mistakes. In fairness, couldn't you have improved? No. To be fair, I don't, because I'm pretty sure, Luke, you watch some at NMS, don't you? The refs aren't that bad in the MLS. I
watched a lot in the summer. Plus, they use. I mean, I don't know whether it's just like a North American thing, not so much with ice hockey, but they tend to use what we call VAR much better. If you watch American football game, they tend to get the decisions right, and they don't. There's always people have their opinion to whether this was whatever call it was, but I find it's a lot better.
They've got favourites over there. Patrick Mahomes. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, we'll get on the NFL now. No, thank you. Could listen to Bobby rant for hours. No, you couldn't. You get very bored of it, I promise. MLS take less time to decide. They do. Is offside any clearer in the MLS? It's clearer with the new rule that a certain person has introduced, which I still think we should introduce now, but they have to take their time and then have to vote on it. And the EPL will only vote on it if they all agree to it. There's just loads. Honestly, it's like dealing with kindergarten sometimes with EPL. They all have to agree. But yeah, we'll see. Can we get youth players who don't make mistakes into professional league?
Can we stop talking about refs? We just the last minute winning last night. We're buzzing and we're talking about these lots still. Come on, we need to stop this.
Obviously, have to accept decisions will be wrong, but not the list. As long as Great Wall of China will All right, Wall of China wouldn't be that great. Automated offsides, but it's not offsides where the problem is. Yeah, that's an issue that is very easily dealt with. There's loads of technology for it. We don't use it. Don't know why. It exists. Let's just use the damn thing. Anyway, Mikel Arteta time rating. Luke, I think you're still at the bottom. You are, mate. Mikel, what do you give Arteta a rating?
Yeah, I mean, there was individual errors again, so you can't blame him for that. Although you can blame him for keep picking that certain player, but I'd give him an 8.
Rene?
Yeah, he gets an 8 as well. Yeah,
okay.
With the like Luke said, I mean, you can't blame for the goals conceded. He picked a really strong team last night. But one thing I will say is that when you're playing teams like Luton, managers first and foremost should know that they should be saying to their players, please don't just think that this is going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be a tough game, you know, because I mean, even Arteta said it before the start of the game. He said, "Oh, we know it's going to be a tough game." So, okay, if that's the case, you got to make sure man to man, everyone's on it. Don't just think, "Oh yeah, we can just turn up and it's Luton Town." I don't like seeing it. I've seen it at Arsenal all too often where this has happened, and we've either ended up just winning the game, or we draw 2-2, whatever, or we lose the game. I don't like seeing it. You know,
No, I agree.
it's still and it doesn't matter who we play. Same professional attitude. I want to see it every time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Tone?
I kind of disagree. I think he knew what we were facing, and that's why he started with the players that he did. That's introducing Kivior into the starting lineup and not Zinchenko, because we see the failures there from the wide areas. So I'm going to do this come dine with me style, and I'm going to score Arteta a 9.
That is not going to be a thing. I can promise you. That is not going to. We are not doing none of this come dine with me rubbish. Yeah, just not.
I'm not having your chicken pie.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Let's get into these last comments. What will happen with Eddie Heads? Mikel realised he is not enough for us. We need a better option than him and Reece. Nketiah does not have a long-term future at Arsenal. I know it. Arsenal know it now. Same as Nelson. Neither of them have a long-term future. Whether or not they'll be sold in January, I don't know. But I can't see it again. I can't see them here next summer.
I can't see a striker coming in January either, to be honest.
What did you say? That? Sorry, mate.
I don't see a striker coming in January.
No, not January. I think it will be summer. I did say next year we will sign a striker, but I think that is now moved into summer region. I think mainly it's because the player that we're looking at, they will want to finish their season at this club. So yeah, we will wait and see. There will be someone coming in, minimum one. I think two, because I've heard 2 names, but we'll wait and see. But a striker's definitely not
a Partey replacement.
Well, need to get him gone first. On VAR stuff, should the fourth official review the pitch side monitor and get the decision? Ain't the point the refs has already potential seeing it wrong at the point the monitor is needed? That's quite a good idea, to be honest, Big T, because the ref, and what the fourth official literally just stands there with a board. He's got nothing else to do. It'll be a lot quicker because he's already there as well. He's right by the screen. It's quite a good idea, to be fair, Big T. Yeah, I might shout that them, to be honest. Arteta's management skill seems to be going downhill. Told you, boys. Another Wenger here. I don't like certain aspects of Arteta. I don't know what
he's getting results, and that's all.
Well, yeah, but what I do know is man management skills sucks, and at the end of the day, you need your players. You know. If you can't handle certain players, which he certainly can't, and it's the same when you start hearing who we're trying to sign, and we're not trying to sign certain players. I've said this to you, Luke, before, haven't I? That there's certain players that he will never want to sign because he wants a certain other type of player. Well, I'm sorry, but the certain other type of player sometimes is like, what the heck are you doing? And ignoring the player that clearly wants to play for Arsenal, but he doesn't want it because he's got a certain attitude problem. I'm sorry. I'd rather have the attitude problem because he's a better player. I don't care.
Me too.
You know, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. The one player that I think we should never have got rid of is still Guendouzi. I think that was a huge mistake. I'm not bothered about Orba. I'm not bothered by him. Yeah. He was an issue. Who else? Ozil, different situation again. Not an issue with him. Trying to think who else we've sold. Who else we've sold has got a bad attitude? Balogun. I guarantee he'll be a fantastic striker, but he didn't help himself in that situation. And I get that. But he will be a great striker. But that wasn't really down to Arteta. I think if Balogun didn't do what he did, I think Eddie would have gone and Balogun would have stayed. I think that's what would have happened. But Balogun chose his different option. So it is what it is. On Arteta, what did you say, Tone?
It's working well for him, isn't it?
Well, he's at my Monaco, so my Monaco sucks. On Arteta, would winning the league be enough, or will sections of the fan base still want him gone? It depends what we've done in the season.
This fan base that are agenda fueled, and they won't be happy either way. But there are sensible gooners that if we win, he's there.
Well, obviously, if we win the league, I don't think any nutcase would want Arteta gone.
Oh no, they'll probably be.
There's people out there, Bobby. There's people.
Well, I'm sorry, they're not Arsenal fans then.
Agenda driven. Well, yeah, but still.
Then anyone that is not celebrating Arsenal winning the league are nutters. Simple as that.
There'll be a narrative going, well, Man City didn't do well. That's why we won the league. You know, Liverpool didn't do well, so that's why we won the league.
You'll definitely get that, yeah.
I don't think Arteta's good enough. That's my opinion still, and I'm still sticking with that. But if he proves me wrong, then I'm happy. I don't.
And that exactly, that's what we want, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what we want. We want to be proven wrong. You know,
exactly.
we've always prayed. Arteta when he gets his flowers, we do praise him. You know, whenever we're doing these shows,
anyone,
you know what I mean. But then what I won't do is, you see, it goes back to not just Arteta, it's like players as well. If there's a player you don't rifle, you don't rate. I mean, we've had that many times over the past, right? I will always celebrate their goals. I don't care who scores for Arsenal. I'll celebrate all the goals. It's like, I weren't a big fan of Pascal Segon. I know he was like one of the slowest defenders in the universe, but he's an invincible. He played enough games to get a medal. But then I think it was against Middlesbrough. I think he scored a couple of goals. I cheered them on. You know what I mean? That's what you do.
Do you know what? I would be interested to see what this, the people that we see online today, the negative ones, the ones with the agendas, would have reacted to the way Thierry Henry started his Arsenal career. I'd be interested to know what they would have said if they watched him now, like when he started, because it took him a while, didn't it?
Yeah,
it took him a while.
Yeah.
Because it did. And we were looking him as a winger when we bought him. It was about what can he do on the right hand side or the left hand side, and then the rest is history, really, isn't it?
Exactly, it is, mate. Arteta is living in all or nothing still, says Tony. It's not about wanting him gone; it's about his arrogance. Someone was sacked yesterday in the football world. Now, Arteta's arrogance, but the person that was sacked yesterday is way more arrogant than Arteta. They're all arrogant. Unfortunately, all managers are arrogant. It's the way that they deal with their arrogance. One was sacked yesterday. Honestly, I can't stand talking to him. I'm glad he's gone. Never been a fan of him. So I'm glad he's sacked. That means I'll never have to speak to him again.
The better managers come back in.
You know who I'm on about then. Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
He's a thoroughly nice bloke. I like him. I can't mention names because I'll get in trouble. My club has always been bigger than the manager. Arteta needs to remember that. That's how I always look at it. I don't support a manager. I don't support a player. I support my club. That is how my granddad always taught me. Yep. That is how I'll always do it. You don't go to. I hope no one goes to the Arsenal store, goes to buy their Arsenal shirt. Can you put George Graham on the back of the shirt for me? I hope no one does it because that's just mental.
No.
But you know what? The managers are sackable. and they move. They should be sacked way quicker than Wenger, whatever was, to be honest. But that's a whole different story.
So
Yeah.
let's get Bobby for Christmas.
My favourite manager. Everyone knows who my favourite manager is at Arsenal, and it always will be. I don't think it'll ever change. To be fair,
Yeah.
But I don't care who the manager is as long as they're doing the job. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't care if he used to play for Tottenham for 500 games. I know this is offensive, but I don't care. As long as he's winning the blimmin' games, I don't care who he is. I honestly don't care. I want my club to play and entertain me. Last night was not entertaining. I hated it. I hated every moment of it. It was the most stressful game I've watched for a long time. I did say it wasn't going to be easy, but for some reason I never listened to myself, so I wasn't prepared for that type of stress. But yeah, honestly, mate, I think me and Brenny said in the first half, you could see that we were complacent. We weren't performing very well. And I was starting to fear it again. I was like, nah, surely this can't be happening. And then obviously we went 3-2 down. And I was like, like, what the heck is this? But yeah, look, I'm happy with the 3 points. I always will be. That's all I want for Arsenal. I always just want to win. That's what you want at any sportsman. You don't go swimming, right? You don't want to go in swimming competition and draw with the person that you're swimming against. You don't want to go, let's just touch the sides at the end. You don't. You want to win. You want to win. You want to win at every single sport.
Of course you do.
My most favourite new sport right now is F1 powerboat. Absolutely fantastic to watch. You should all watch it because they're mental. And they are literally trying to kill each other. It's hilarious. Honestly, you should definitely watch it. It's on TNT. Oops, I don't wear it, Bobby. With George Graham, we scored. We could relax. I was very relaxed under that period. If I took your ambulance.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I've got 3 paramedics that live down my road. I'm perfectly safe, guys. Right. Thank you ever so much, everyone. Really appreciate it. I know we've gone off so many different tangents. It's absolutely mental. You will see me again on Friday. Yes, preview day. Friday, because we've got the Villa game on Saturday. Is that right?
Yeah.
Because I've got 2 big games this week. I've got Villa on Saturday, and I've got Arsenal Chelsea on Sunday, which I'm not looking forward to that. I don't know why I agreed to do these WSL games. I really don't. Brenny, thank you ever so much for coming on. Where can they find you?
Right, you can find me on X. You can also find me on Instagram. And you can also find me here on the wonderful Armoury TV. Like, share, and subscribe, please.
Thank you very much. Luke, where can they find you?
On Twitter, it's at ArsenalLuke84. On Threads, it's at AFCLuke84. And also you'll find me in the chat. But I just want to end on saying I am absolutely delighted with last night's 3 points. Really proud of the boys. They kept going to the end. And that was a brilliant last-minute winner.
Yeah, exactly. Tony.
You can find me on. I'm going to call it Twix. He called it Twitter. He called it X. Let's call it Twix. It's at Silver Segments. There. Or if it's like I said, a daytime stream, you'll find me here. Quite possibly next week. We've got PSV, and we might see me again next week if you're lucky.
Yeah,
like Luke, this is a match review. It absolutely staggered with last night's game. And who doesn't know? Look, as much as it's bad for the heart, who doesn't love a last-minute winner?
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
I will take this every game of the season if it means we win. I don't care. It's just stressful. From an outside point of view, be happy you're in the conversation. We haven't been and won't be for a long time since Big T. Great show. Thank you very much, Big T. Appreciate the love. Thanks, guys. Great show. Even though I was right, you were wrong. Everyone's entitled to different opinions, Tony. Guys, I'm out of here. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Right, baby.